In the digital age, mythology transcends its ancient roots to become a dynamic narrative element on social media platforms. This evolution forms the core of Mount Olympus in the digital age, mythology's role in social media narratives. To understand this transformation, it's essential to define how mythology interacts with the digital landscape. Mythology, traditionally a system of stories used to explain the unexplainable and impart cultural norms, now finds expression in modern digital storytelling. Social media platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok serve as contemporary vessels that carry age-old myths, allowing them to thrive within today's culture, hyper-contextualized environment. The significance of this relationship lies in its democratizing effect. It enables users to reinterpret and disseminate mythological stories in personal and culturally resonant ways. These platforms offer immediacy and reach, allowing myths to influence and inspire broader audiences. For instance, the myth of Icarus is frequently referenced in social media to symbolize creative ambition, teetering on hubris, often used in discussions about personal failure, success, and the perils of flying too high. Another example is the retelling of Medusa's story through feminist lenses on platforms like Twitter and TikTok, challenging traditional perceptions and empowering users to question historical narratives. Support for this digital reimagining of mythology can be found in the works of digital anthropologists and cultural critics who argue that these stories' adaptability makes them perfect vehicles for modern discourse. These academics highlight the resurgent relevance of myths, noting how they provide frameworks for understanding contemporary issues like identity, gender, and power dynamics. However, this blending of ancient stories with new media is not without controversy. Critics argue that the oversimplification of myths into memes and short-form content can strip them of their depth and nuanced meanings. There is also a risk that such interpretations could reinforce cultural stereotypes rather than challenge them. This intersection between mythology and social media narratives influences other facets of digital age storytelling, encouraging cross-cultural collaboration and dialogue. By connecting traditional tales with digital mediums, myths become living narratives that continue to evolve, reflecting societal changes and individual experiences. This digital reinterpretation underscores the timeless nature of mythology, while highlighting its capacity to evolve and remain integral in modern social contexts. Ultimately, as part of a broader discourse, mythology's role in social media narratives illustrates its enduring power and relevance, shaping and reflecting our collective human experiences in profound ways. Mount Olympus, Ancient Myths in Modern Narratives explores the enduring influence of classical mythology in today's digital storytelling and social media landscapes. This concept revolves around how mythological stories, characters, and themes from Mount Olympus have seamlessly integrated into modern narratives, influencing content creation and the way stories are told online. These ancient myths offer rich, archetypal frameworks that resonate universally, thereby enhancing the depth and appeal of digital narratives. In the context of Mount Olympus in the digital age, this point is significant as it highlights the timelessness and adaptability of mythology. Social media platforms, known for their rapid and widespread dissemination of information, tap into these myths to engage audiences by offering familiarity and intrigue. For instance, platforms like TikTok and Instagram witness a frequent recycling of mythological imagery and themes. The trend of users adopting personas or aesthetics inspired by Greek gods and heroes underscores mythology's role in shaping identity and storytelling online. A real-world example includes brands leveraging Greek mythology for marketing. Nike, named after the Greek goddess of victory, employs mythological elements to convey messages of triumph and excellence. Another example is the use of mythological analogies in political discourse on Twitter, where figures are often likened to gods or mythic heroes to convey power dynamics or moral narratives. Supporting opinions argue that these narratives provide shared cultural references that transcend global barriers, fostering a sense of interconnectedness. Mythologist Joseph Campbell's concept of the monomyth or hero's journey, widely used in screenwriting today, illustrates this shared narrative structure that captivates audiences through familiar story arcs. However, there are challenges and controversies associated with this concept. Some critics argue that the oversimplification or commercial exploitation of myths can lead to cultural appropriation or the dilution of their original meanings. Furthermore, alternative viewpoints suggest that an over-reliance on Eurocentric myths in global narratives could overshadow other rich mythologies, creating an imbalance in cultural representation. This point influences other aspects of the main topic by demonstrating how myths shape digital identities and content strategies, revealing their depth beyond traditional storytelling. It calls attention to the broader context of mythological narratives in media, encouraging creators to innovate by blending these ancient elements with contemporary cultural and technological contexts. Through this integration, audiences are offered a bridge between past and present, enriching both the consumption and creation of modern narratives. Social media as a new storytelling platform refers to the use of social media networks like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok as venues for sharing narratives and engaging audiences in diverse and creatively dynamic ways. Unlike traditional media, which often involves one-way communication, social media platforms foster interactive storytelling, enabling both creators and audiences to partake in the narrative's development. This concept emerges as key within the discussion of Mount Olympus in the digital age, because it signifies the transformation and adaptation of ancient mythology within modern digital cultures. Mythological themes and archetypes find renewed relevance and can be reshaped to fit current societal narratives, enhancing their reach and impact. The significance of social media as a storytelling platform is profound. It democratizes narrative creation, allowing not just prestigious authors or filmmakers, but everyday users to reimagine and disseminate mythological stories, including those of Mount Olympus. This participatory aspect can revitalize interest in ancient myths and facilitate their adaptation to contemporary settings. For example, Instagram meme accounts often leverage mythological figures and stories, depicting them humorously or critically, to comment on modern issues such as politics or personal relationships, breathing new life into ancient characters. Additionally, platforms like TikTok enable users to create short video skits or explainers that reinterpret myths, using humor or modern context to communicate age-old lessons to a digital-savvy audience. Supporters of this idea argue that social media reinstates the communal aspect of storytelling, reminiscent of oral traditions where myths originally thrived. It allows mythology to evolve and ensures its continued relevance across generations. However, there are challenges and controversies, such as the risk of oversimplification or misinterpretation of complex myths, potentially leading to a loss of original meanings and nuances. Moreover, the fast-paced nature of social media might prioritize sensationalism over depth, sacrificing the richness of mythological narratives for virality. Connecting this to other aspects of the main topic, social media's role in modern storytelling influences how we perceive cultural identity and history in today's digital age. It intersects with our understanding of narrative authority and authenticity, especially as these myths are increasingly remixed and reshaped by global audiences. This process not only redefines mythology's role in popular culture, but also challenges us to critically assess the implications of digital reinterpretations on historical knowledge and cultural heritage. Engagement and interaction on social media platforms have transformed followers into the new demigods of the digital age. In mythology, demigods are powerful beings with a divine aspect, often interacting with humans on behalf of the gods, bridging the celestial and earthly realms. Similarly, in the context of social media, followers wield considerable influence, bridging the gap between content creators and widespread audiences, driving trends and amplifying narratives. This concept significantly pertains to the main topic, Mount Olympus in the digital age, as it highlights how modern technology provides followers with a voice and a measure of power once reserved for mythological figures. Social media engagement includes activities like liking, commenting, sharing, and participating in discussions around content. These actions are not mere passive consumption, but active interaction, conferring upon followers the ability to shape narratives. In much the same way, ancient demigods could sway the outcomes of mythic tales. For instance, viral challenges on platforms like TikTok demonstrate how user engagement can alter content trajectories, with creators keenly listening and adapting to follower feedback to maintain relevance. Similarly, the Twitter phenomenon of fans mobilizing support for or against public figures echoes the demigod's role in invoking divine favor or wrath. Experts argue that this democratization of influence fosters a more interactive and responsive content ecosystem. Followers, by collectively determining what gains traction and what doesn't, enact a form of myth-making reminiscent of ancient storytelling traditions, albeit on a digital stage. However, this empowerment of followers isn't without challenges or controversies. The power dynamics can lead to a form of digital mob rule, where vocal minorities overly influence creators, sometimes stifling creativity or leading to the spread of misinformation. Critics warn that this can result in echo chambers or sensationalism, reminiscent of mythological tales, but far less benign. Moreover, the concept of followers as demigods interfaces with other aspects of the main topic by emphasizing the two-way interaction inherent in social media that mimics the reciprocal relationships seen in mythology. Just as the gods' fates were occasionally swayed by their half-mortal progeny, modern creators and influencers are finding their own Olympus dictated in part by their follower base. This dynamic further illustrates the intertwining of ancient mythological themes with contemporary digital narratives, underlining the enduring relevance of myth in understanding modern storytelling and influence. By weaving these traditions into new media, social narratives become richer and more compelling, echoing the timeless tales of the past.